Hello everybody and welcome back to BattleTech, where you know how I was saying that I was kind of underwhelmed by our Cyclops' firepower? Well, I did a little messing around and this is kind of the best I came up with. What's the differential between an LRM-15 and an LRM-20 tonnage-wise? 7 tons for a 15, 10 for a 20. So, we could save some tonnage by switching to LRM-15. Hypothetically, if we did this, that gets us down to 6 tons. We drop the ER medium laser, because that kind of doesn't make sense anyway. What is the heat generation of a 15? 14 heat compared to 18 heat from a 20. 10 heat from a 10. What? How much from a 5? 6 heat. Okay, so that's the efficiency there. It's not in tonnage, because it's 7 tons for a 15, 2 tons for a 5. Wait. So an LRM-15 and an LRM-5 is 1 ton less than an LRM-20, but it does generate a total of 20 heat compared to the 18 from the LRM-20. So that's the trade-off there. We have 7 tons remaining. So if we were to run dual LRM-5s, in addition to the LRM-15s, this is exactly the same as the LRM-20s in terms of damage output, except it's actually higher, because we have +2 damage on these 2 LRM-15s. So this is an improvement in firepower, but a reduction in heat efficiency. But then, we have 3 tons remaining. This is going to kill our heat efficiency if we put ER medium lasers on here. Yeah, that's disgusting. That would mean that our Alpha Strike is 80 heat. We have 1 ton remaining. Now, we could, in theory, move a heatsink up here, remove this heatsink, and run a heat exchanger. That brings our Alpha Strike down to 72 heat. If we are firing just these weapons, how is our heat efficiency? Okay, we would overheat just firing the LRMs like this. However, if we removed the exchanger and put in another standard heatsink, that's actually worse. Okay. Or actually, we'd be able to put in 2 heatsinks. Do we not have 2 heatsinks? We don't have 2 heatsinks. Okay. Please tell me there are heatsinks in the store. Yes. Excellent.
New equipment.
We'll buy a heatsink. And so this would be more efficient than the exchanger. It would take 100 turns to overheat like this. And then the ER medium lasers would still fit on. They're definitely going to tank our heat efficiency. We could just not run ER medium lasers and just run medium lasers. That is an option. The heat is much lower on them. The range is standard on the ER medium laser compared to standard on the medium laser? These do have +10 damage on them, so they're 45 damage. Okay. That's a lot of damage from those ER mediums. These would be mostly backup weapons, though. Okay. I think we'll run this. We'll see how it feels. If I find myself firing the ER medium lasers too much, then that means I'm positioning wrong, really. We'll burn through these LRM ammos. Do we have too much LRM ammo? I think we do. I think we dropped 2 tons of LRM ammo, because this is 6 turns for this side. So we have 12 turns of LRM ammo like this. We had 18 before. I think that was too much. So then we can get a couple more heat sinks in here. So we'll buy 2 additional heat sinks.
New equipment available.
Like so. Hypothetically, we could run the heat exchanger, actually, instead. But these heat sinks over here, what does that do for our efficiency? Okay, so that's an efficiency of 3 compared to an efficiency of 3 and 3. Okay, so this is a delta heat here of 35. If we run the exchanger, this is a delta heat of, let's see, 33. So the exchanger is slightly more efficient if we are running the ER mediums, or if we're firing the ER mediums. If we're not firing the ER mediums, we do not build heat. Okay. That's perfect. We can fire the ER mediums not necessarily every other round, because we're only sinking a little heat if we're firing the LRMs, but we can fire the ER mediums to get our heat up, and then we can just fire the LRMs for a few rounds, and then the ER mediums again. Or alternately, we could like alternate between ER mediums and LRMs based on what we need. But this is so much more damage out of this Cyclops. So I think we run this, see how it feels.
I'll let you know when that's done.
This Orion I'm pretty happy with. Although, I would love to see an AC-20 on this. I really don't think we can get the tonnage without dropping a lot. I mean, we could drop... How much tonnage would we need? It's 8 tons for an AC-5. An AC-20 is 14 tons. So we would need to free up 6 tons. That would be doable, in theory. So, like, if we were to do this, it would be like this. We'd need to have AC-20 ammo in here. Where is our ammo? Here we go. We'd need to have AC-20 ammo in here. We don't currently have any AC-20 ammo. We may as well pick some up if there is any in the store. There is. Fantastic.
New equipment available.
There's LBX ammo in there too. Interesting. Okay, so we'd put AC-20 ammo here. That's 5 rounds. Yeah, I feel like this just isn't going to happen. Let's revert that. And we're just going to leave this as is. Having the AC-20 ammo around isn't a bad thing, though. So the Bull Shark. We were talking about maybe putting in the Gauss rifles. Potentially instead of the LB-10X. That's 10.5 tons for an LB-10X. Compared to 15 for the Gauss rifles. Okay, so that would be a lot. 8 tons for the UAC-5s. So we'd basically have to replace all of this. We'd have to replace both the UAC-5 and the LB-10X. That's 90 damage in each of those. For the LB-10X, that's 88 damage each. The Gauss rifle doesn't make up for that. This is a better loadout than the Gauss rifle. Okay. So I guess we just don't use Gauss rifles. This quick draw does need to be refit. We need to put some weapons on here. Max this armor out, first things first. And that doesn't give us a whole lot of weight to work with, but it is a quick draw, so I think we just run a million medium lasers, as you tend to do on quick draws. And then I do want to have some jump jets on here. We can have in total 5. So we'll put 1 here. 5 jump jets. And then we would need some heat. We can take off a little bit of weight here. In terms of armor. Kind of like that. And have 5 tons. And then we'd put on some heat sinks. So like 1 here. 1 here. 1 here. 1 here. In fact, 2 in the CT. Like that. It's not great in terms of its firepower. It only does 100 damage around. But that's why it's in our 3rd string.
Right.
Okay.
I'll get it in the schedule.
So I think that's everything good to go. So, we now need to figure out where we're going to go. But before we do that, we do have a tiny amount of mech warrior training to do. Not a huge amount, just a little bit. We'll grab a point of guts for Jenkins.
Training complete.
Yes, Commander.
And then Mothership, I really want that extra point of gunnery for you.
Yes, Commander.
Road Rash, you're doing fine.
Yeah. Commander?
Tranquility can grab Tactics 10.
Training complete.
There you go.
Ready for
And Vamp is good to go. Okay. So I think now we just need to figure out where we're going. There's a flashpoint up over here. Yang Vertanen's big score. Oh my. Bonus reward is a rare mech. Last time we got a rare mech, it was the Bull Shark. Short engagement length, no consecutive deployment, 2.5 skull. This is gonna be easy. Yeah. It's only 24 days out of our way.
Calculating course now.
We absolutely do this. Are we currently working on an Argo upgrade? Because with the amount of money we have, we should be. Yeah, we are. Okay. Upgrade with the Davians in terms of our reputation. That's fine. Dobrev down. Okay, so our Flashpoint campaign finally popped. We'll do it after the Flashpoint that we're going to, though. Farah calls you to the Argo's command center, where you find the view screen overflowing with grainy hollow images and dossiers. Multiple sources confirm that an unknown spacecraft crashed into a saltwater lake on Mantharaka about a month ago. Her surviving crew was medevaced to an orbiting station where they were all found to have suffered misjump-induced injuries. That's a Dobrev, Farah pumps her fist, her smile radiant with triumph. It has to be. Darius nods. Yeah, and that was the good news. The bad news is, we're not the only company on the Derelict's trail. The Black Widow has been carving a bloody trail across the frontier, burning out black market sites on over a dozen worlds. And I have reliable information that she's moving toward Mantharaka. Sumire shakes her head. If we fight the Black Widow, she's gonna end us. This is a bad idea, Commander. Farah shrugs. So we move fast. If we recover the Dobrev's navigation logs before she gets there, we won't even need to fight. I think that we can beat the Black Widow. Yeah, I think we can. You let your voice take on a hard edge. I'm not afraid of Natasha Kerensky. Atraitus' Marauders beat the Black Widow Company back on Appian, and if it comes to a fight, I will gladly do it again. Darius crosses his arms over his chest. The commander is right. We can beat the Black Widow. All we need to do is be prepared. Sumire's lips tighten, but she says nothing. Eventually, she sighs. I'll mark Mantharaka on the star map, but we better not go before we're ready. When I land us there, we're going to be committed to seeing this job through to the end. Okay, so that was a choice there. How difficult is that? Let's take a quick look. Like I said, we're going to be doing Yang Vertanen's big score first. So, it's over here. 5 skull. Okay. Long engagement length, but no consecutive deployment. Okay. But we're definitely going to Yang Vertanen's big score first. 5 skull difficulty. I mean, before we do that, I want to have an upgrade for the Warhammer. I'm okay with the Orion, but the Warhammer is our weak link in our primary lance right now. I want to change that. So let's head up to Yang's big score, and we'll see what we get. Hopefully a new Juggernaut mech. Or a mech that we can repurpose as a Juggernaut mech. Bump in the night. In the middle of the night, you're flung from your bed. Metal screeches deep inside the Argo. Dr. Murad's voice crackles over the comms. Everything is under control, Commander, but Mongoose needs adult supervision. Darius drags the pilot into your quarters. Mongoose discovered how to destabilize a dropship with a pen laser. He reddens. It was an accident. Darius crosses his arms. You've had a lot of accidents. Luckily nothing major, but this one nearly sent the drive stabilizer flying into the fusion reactors. How do you want to handle this, Commander? We've got plenty of money. We'll train Mongoose. Mongoose raises his chin, looking you in the eye. I'll be more careful. Oh, I know you will. You clap Mongoose on the shoulder. Because you've been assigned to reflex and precision training. Mongoose opens his mouth to interject, but you raise a hand. Let's make sure there are no more accidents, Mech Warrior. You're lucky we didn't have to mop you off the floor. The next day, you notice a handmade sign in the barracks. Days since last explosion? 1. He's no longer a klutz. He'll be unavailable for 14 days. He's in high spirits. And we lost 100k. Okay, well, he'll be back by the time we get to our destination. So that's fine. Excellent. The Marauder is now done, and the Warhammer is done. The machine shop will be finishing up momentarily, so we're going to need to make another big expenditure there. How much money do we have? 4.4k? Or 4.4 million even? I think we're okay on that front. We're getting to the point where we can start spending money pretty freely. Because we make so much money, and our expenses are going down because the Argo upgrades are almost done. So let's go ahead and get one of the last upgrades. Is this the last? No, second to last. Okay, 2.25 million.
Sure thing.
Let's do it.
It'll take a bit, but we'll get it done.
We should be fine financially. The Cyclops will be done right now. Mongoose will be back right now, and the Quick Draw will be done as well.
That job you asked for, Commander.
And we'll be arriving at Electra now, before the financial report. That's very good for us. Okay, I think we're ready to just get started on Yang's big score. Alright, Yang, we're orbiting Electra, so let's hear it. What's this juicy opportunity you've got lined up for us? A great big glittery showroom full of limited production battle mechs. We're talking mint condition museum pieces, the private collection of one of House Davion's preeminent collectors. We play our cards right, and they're ours for the taking. In short, EXO, what I've got lined up for us is a good old-fashioned heist. This collector have a name? It'd be nice to know who we're planning to rob. Mitchell Graves. He's ex-corporate, made a mint working as the interim CEO of Lycum Davion Introtech, then more than quadrupled his money by manipulating the aerospace market. Long story short, the guy's a white-collar criminal. He's filthy rich, but otherwise unremarkable, and he collects battle mechs, but I'll be damned if he knows how to pilot one. Sounds like the kind of guy I'd have no problem stealing from. So, how do you propose we do it? Well, first off, we have to get our mech warriors into the showroom somehow. We can't just blast our way in without damaging the merchandise, so a frontal assault is out. If we want to get those mechs out of the showroom in one piece, we're going to have to trick Graves into dropping his guard, and as it happens, I've got a plan for that. I'm listening. Graves has a rival, this guy named Wallow. He's another rich asshole with a military hardware fetish, and a couple of months ago, he outbid our guy on some vintage mech parts. Graves needs those components for an old Griffin he's restoring, but Wallow won't sell. You with me so far? I hope so, because we're coming up on the good part. Okay, so, last month, Wallow leased an old aircraft hangar on the edge of Cortica City. He's planning on using it to facilitate another deal, some sort of aerospace acquisition, I think. And he's brought his Griffin components with him, presumably for the purpose of pissing Graves off. Now, here's where the plan gets clever. If we were to capture Wallow's hangar and then leave it defenseless, Graves would go for it. He'd send his own security detail to steal Wallow's Griffin bits. That would give our people all the opportunity they need to slip in on foot and infiltrate Graves' showroom. Then our mech warriors would abscond with their pick of Graves' battle mechs. It's a fine plan, but what happens if the mechs are secured in some way? No offense to our valiant pilots, but if getting these museum pieces up and running is more complicated than pressing the on button, I'm not sure they'll be up to the task. You're right, they won't. And that's why I'll be going in with them, feet on the ground, like I did in my army days. I'll get the mechs running and hitch a ride back out with one of our pilots. Won't be my first date with a rumble seat. Sounds like a plan, Yang. I'll assemble a lance to wipe out the Wallow's bodyguards. Not the Wallow, just Wallow. Damn glad you're with me on this, boss. Damn glad. I'd give you the mother of all high fives if I didn't think it'd break you. Let's get to work, everybody. This is gonna be great. It's going to go very, very sideways. I can tell you that right now. I know exactly how this plays out. Nothing will go according to plan. I'm absolutely positive of that. Okay, so what are we bringing? Way too much. Honestly, I feel like we bring this. I want to get these pilots maxed out. So I think let's go. Like, this is way, way over tonnage. I know for a fact that this is going to go sideways. I haven't played this Flashpoint before. I just know it's going to. So, let's be prepared for that. Capture the hangar and eliminate Wallow's security detail. Wallow's got a mercenary company on retainer to protect his private aerospace hangar, the imaginatively named Security Solutions Incorporated. I looked them up and they're the real deal. They've got combat vehicles, battle mechs, the works. But we'll have the element of surprise on our side, given that Wallow's never heard of us. That's something, right? Let's hope this heist works out the way Yang said that it would. Yeah, it won't. It definitely won't.
Command interface initiated.
Hangar's just ahead, Commander. I'm picking up a lot of battle mech activity out front. Unknown battle mech Lance, be advised that you're trespassing on protected territory. Turn back now, or you'll be destroyed. So much for the element of surprise. Let's do what we came here for, Alpha Lance. Take him out and capture that hangar.
Here we go!
Okay, what is our approach looking like? A bit sketchy. I shouldn't be surprised. Okay, well, we'll just start moving forward.
Heading out. On my way. Move order confirmed. I'm there.
Okay. Just go up over this way.
Heading out.
Yeah, this is a very sketchy approach. I think we make for these trees over here. We're definitely going to get a sensor contact over here.
Position confirmed. Affirmative.
Right? We actually didn't. Okay.
What's up, boss?
I'm gonna use the Orion to come up over here. There we go. I've got eyes on the hangar, Commander, and what's more, Farah's gotten me access to Wallow's internal security cameras. They weren't even encrypted! For a security company, these SSI people aren't very good. I can say that again. I'm taking a look inside. Wallow's got something big in there, but I can't quite make out... Oh. Oh, wow. Don't leave us in suspense, Meyer. What are you looking at in there? Thing of beauty, Exo. He's got about 80% of a Galileo Instruments Achilles up on blocks in there. It's an absolute monster of a dropship, more than twice as big as our Leopard, and it's armed like a warship to boot. Then we should be relieved it's up on blocks. Let's get this show back on the road, Commander. The sooner we wipe out Wallow's guards, the sooner we can move on Graves' showroom. Okay. So, where are the enemies?
Rolling.
I'm gonna leave our fire support in this cover.
On my way. Good to go.
This must be how we spawn them.
On my way. Acknowledged.
Uh-huh. Well, I have no idea where the enemies are. So that's exciting. I guess we'll go looking for them, but it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're going to see if we can find any enemies. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.